The stars burned cold and distant, and silence ruled the black sea of space. But silence never lasted long when raiders hunted. In the shadow of an asteroid field drifted a dark ship, the Crimson Talon, feared across sectors. Its hull was jagged like broken teeth, its engines muffled to hide its heat, its crew hungry for plunder. Inside, Captain Vexa tapped his claws against the armrest of his chair. His insect-like body gleamed under red lighting, every segment of his exoskeleton polished from years of victories. He lived for the thrill of the hunt, for the cries of prey who realized too late that resistance was useless. "Target acquired, Captain," hissed his tactical officer. "Human freighter. Slow. Weak. Cargo holds full of minerals and food." Vex's mandibles clicked with excitement. "Humans," he spat. "Soft-skinned mammals. They build clumsy boxes and call them ships. They cannot fight. Prepare the boarding party." The Crimson Talon cut free from the shadows and slid toward the human freighter like a predator toward a wounded animal. Docking clamps locked. Cutting torches roared. Metal hissed and buckled as a hole was burned open in the freighter's cargo bay doors. 20 Zelkaran warriors stormed through, plasma rifles raised, mandibles clicking in anticipation of frightened screams. But the cargo bay was quiet. Rows of crates stood stacked like towers. Lights flickered weakly. The only sound was the hum of air systems. Then they saw it. A small creature sat calmly on a crate, watching them. 4 legs, covered in orange and white fur. Sharp ears that twitched at every sound. Green eyes that glowed in the dim light. "What is that thing?" Sergeant Krill whispered, tightening his grip on his rifle. Vexa narrowed his eyes. "A food animal. Ignore it. Spread out. Find the humans." But before they could move further, the creature arched its back and let out a low, rolling growl. The sound was strange, too deep, too confident, too dangerous for such a small body. It froze the warriors in place. Then came a piercing cry, high and sharp, echoing across the metal walls until it seemed the whole ship was screaming at them. The Zelkaran shifted uneasily. They were trained killers, but nothing in their databank spoke of this animal. And then, the creature leapt. Like a streak of orange fire, it landed on a warrior's helmet. Claws scraped across his visor, sharp enough to leave trails on the hardened surface. The warrior shouted, spinning wildly as the creature clung, slashing and biting. "Get it off him!" Vexa roared, but every shot they tried to line up missed. The creature moved too quickly, flowing from one point to another with liquid grace. Finally, the warrior grabbed it and hurled it across the bay. They expected it to stay down. Instead, it twisted in the air, landed perfectly on its feet, and stared at them again, unharmed, ready, angry. "That's not food," Krill whispered in terror. "That's a hunter." The creature, this cat, stalked forward, tail twitching, eyes glowing like twin stars. Every step felt like a challenge. The Zelkaran, who had faced armored soldiers and alien beasts, found themselves backing away from a creature barely the size of their helmets. Then more sounds filled the bay. Human footsteps, calm voices, and worst of all, more cries. Low growls, sharp hisses, high yowls that came from different directions at once. At the far end of the bay, a woman appeared. She was tall, dark-haired, dressed in a captain's jacket. She walked with the ease of someone who owned every inch of the ship. 6 more humans followed behind her. At their feet, 5 more cats prowled, their eyes sharp, their bodies low and ready. "Gentlemen," the woman said smoothly, "I see you've met our security officer, Mr. Whiskers, and his deputies, Fluffy, Shadow, Princess Mittens, and Chairman Meow." The orange cat, Mr. Whiskers, sat proudly in the middle of the floor, licking his paw with casual defiance. These are your guards." Vexa stammered. "Oh, they are much more than guards," Captain Chen said. "Cats. Earth's apex predators. Domesticated, yes, but never tamed. They hear your heartbeats from 3 decks away. They hunt anything that doesn't belong. And right now, they've decided you don't belong." To emphasize her words, Princess Mittens, a sleek gray tabby, pounced on Krill's armored foot and began gnawing at it with fierce determination. Krill squealed, stumbling backward, his pride shattered. The Zilkaran raiders, feared across the galaxy, stood frozen, rifles trembling in their claws, while a handful of cats toyed with them. "We surrender!" Vexor shouted at last. His voice cracked in fear. "Call them off. Please." "I can try," Chen said with a shrug. "But cats don't follow orders. They do whatever they want." Shadow, the black cat, stretched slowly and sharpened his claws against a crate. The screech of claw against metal made every Zelkaran flinch. Mr. Whiskers began circling the raiders, tail high, gaze fixed. His movements were slow, deliberate, like a judge passing silent sentence. When the invaders finally scrambled back through the breach, the cats did not chase. They sat in a neat row, tails flicking, eyes unblinking, watching their prey retreat. Minutes later, the Crimson Talon tore free and fled into the darkness of space, its warriors humiliated, their armor scarred with dozens of tiny but permanent claw marks. Back inside, the human crew sealed the breach. Captain Chen crouched down, pulling treats from her pocket. The cats gathered, tails curling, accepting their rewards with loud, rumbling pairs. "Well done, Mr. Whiskers," she whispered, scratching behind his ears. The cat closed his eyes, satisfied, as if the entire raid had been nothing more than a game. Her first officer stepped closer. "Think they'll come back?" Chen smiled faintly. "Not likely. Word spreads fast, and no raider wants to fight humanity's secret weapon." The cats yawned, stretched, and curled up to nap as if nothing had happened. The crew returned to Wyke, still grinning at the memory of alien raiders fleeing from tiny hunters. But far away, in dark holes where raiders whispered, the tale grew. They spoke of the cursed human ships guarded by demons, small creatures with eyes like fire, claws sharper than blades, and courage far greater than size. Some swore the creatures could smell fey. Others whispered they could tear through steel. And some believed the humans had bound ancient predators from a forgotten world. The truth was simpler. They were cats. Ordinary, extraordinary cats. Apex predators of their world, brought into space as companions, pest hunters, and, unknowingly, protectors of humanity. And now their legend traveled faster than light, spreading from crew to crew, planet to planet, star to star. Never board a human ship, the story went. Never breached their cargo bays. Because the humans were never truly alone. They carried hunters beside them, hunters who feared nothing, hunters who saw every alien invader not as soldier or threat, but as prey. One Zelkaran survivor, broken armor still bearing scratches, tried to describe the terror. It was small. So small. But it moved like death itself. It looked at me, and I knew. I was nothing but a mouse. And it wanted to play. The other raiders laughed nervously, but none dared challenge the tale. Because deep inside, they believed it. And belief was stronger than fey. Back on the freighter, Mr. Whiskers opened one eye as the ship's engines hummed. He stretched, yawned, and showed his fangs. For him, it was just another successful day. For the galaxy, it was a warning. In the endless black sea of space, many predators hunted. But only one species brought along cats. And that made all the difference.